Rankings, projections, and expectations are all things that come with being a state championship caliber team. This fall, Rockford has had several who have had to fit into this narrative and have had to deal with fighting these standards.
With this fall edition of Ram Center, we covered changes the program made from COVID to a regular season, some dominant teams who have rolled over their competition, and some new additions and places to the program. All that and a lot more on this episode of Ram Center. I'm Zoe Hazlewood.
And I'm Hyink, and this is Ram Center.
This is Ram Center.
In the district finals, Rockford senior quarterback Hyink goes back into the shotgun to start out the Rams' drive. He rolls out left, and with good blocks from his front seven, he will find a crease. Breaking multiple tackles, he will cross the 50 with a full head of steam. No one will catch the senior quarterback as he runs it in for a Rams touchdown. More plays like this on Ram Center.
With a season that saw many successful teams, the girls' volleyball team may have been one of the best we saw all year. The girls came into the year returning with all but one player from the previous year. This proved that they have plenty of experience and was capable of competing in a tough OK Red Conference.
The Lady Rams unfortunately started out a little slower than they would have liked to, going 3-2 with losses to Grand Rapids Christian and Marion High School. The team would recover, though, battling hard all season long, ending the year with an impressive 30-6 record heading into the conference round-robin tournament.
This tournament would prove to be a valuable experience for the girls as they lost in round 1 against the Hudsonville Eagles. The girls would have to use this loss as a learning experience and would be headed into a stacked Division I playoff tournament where they would most likely have to face the Hudsonville squad again.
This was exactly the fate of the Rams, as heading into the playoffs they would win games against Grand Haven and Forest Hill Central to claim the regional crown. But with the Hudsonville Eagles claiming the region as well, the Rams would be forced to face off against the Hudsonville squad once more.
It was a hard-fought battle that went to 4 periods, but the Rams would sadly lose the regional final, accepting their 4th loss against the Eagles this season. Nevertheless, an amazing season for the Lady Rams and one that will set the bar for Rockford volleyball for many seasons to come.
With 7 seniors on this past year's team, the Rockford girls are going to have to get used to some new changes with their lineups. The volleyball team isn't going to be the only team getting used to some new changes, though, as Rockford administrators recently have invested in some new stadium updates for the boys' football program. We sent a Ram Center team down to talk about what's new and what was the reasoning behind renovating the new stadium.
A big name in Rockford history, Coach Munger, explained how much it meant to him for this community to rename the football stadium the Carlson Munger Stadium.
Well, it's obviously humbling, very humbling. It reminds me big time of all the work that went in from a staff standpoint, from a player standpoint, from the support of our community. I just couldn't be prouder.
Even though he is not coaching at Rockford anymore, he still has so many positive outlooks on our football team.
Rockford football rules. And, as long as we continue to do things the right way, it'll always rule, all right? Win, lose, or whatever. Football is such a magical game in itself. And here at Rockford, with the facilities we have, obviously, with the young men that we have, again, the support, it just doesn't get any better than this.
After coaching here for 28 years, Munger has some new plans for the future.
Well, my plans for the future are, after taking a year off to get healthy, I'm back coaching at a very small school, 26 kids, that just want to be coached, that just want to play football.
Like Coach Munger said, it doesn't get any better than this. This has been Zoe Hazlewood with Beyond the Rock, signing off. Rockford continues to renovate and update their facilities to an elite level amongst all the other high schools. These stadium changes make for an awesome environment and will definitely be one that all of Rockford as a community will enjoy for many years to come.
These changes really showed how committed our sports administrators are to giving their student athletes a unique experience here at Rockford. In fact, the Rockford football team were excited to avenge their loss from the 2020 MHSAA Division I football playoffs, where they lost in the semifinals to the Davison Cardinals.
The Rams did not have an easy road back to the playoffs though this year, as they play an always competitive OK Red Conference with tough out-of-conference games against Cedar Springs and a season opener against Sterling Heights Stevenson.
The Rams were home night 1 with the Michigan game of the week against Sterling Heights Stevenson. This would be the Rams' first game in the new Carlson Munger Stadium.
In a back-and-forth game that saw a lightning delay halfway through the second quarter, the Rams' senior quarterback, Hyink, delivered with an impressive 5 total touchdown game that led the Rams to a 44-30 victory.
This opening night win would help them rally through the thick of their schedule, where the Rams would win 8 straight games, drawing close wins to the Granville Bulldogs and the Caledonia Fighting Scots. With an impressive 9-0 record, the Rams would be ruled conference champions and would rank number 1 heading into the 2021 Division I football playoffs.
The Rams' run would not end here, though, as they would dominate through the first 2 rounds, winning blowouts over both Grand Ledge and Granville. These impressive victories led to the team's 2nd straight district championship. The luck would unfortunately run out here, though, where the Rams would end up losing their regional final game to the undefeated team that is Grand Blanc.
Although the unexpected loss, the Rams did have many high points to the season. One in particular that stands out amongst them all is the incredible season Coach Vanderlaan, the new offensive coordinator here at Rockford, put together in his first season with the Rams.
Rams Center's very own Ryan Wyngarden interviewed Coach Vanderlaan prior to the season to ask him what made Rockford a perfect fit for him.
The ball's on the 20.
After an impressive season, the Rockford football team had an offensive coordinator role that was up for the taking. To make sure the team was in good hands, Rockford Athletics brought in just the guy for the job.
My name is Jason Vanderlaan. I am the offense coordinator for Rockford High School football. I started playing football in 4th grade and played all throughout high school. I was fortunate to be able to get a scholarship to play football at Ferris State. I was a quarterback my whole life, and I won the Harlan Hill Trophy my junior and senior year. Because of that, I was able to go to the NFL.
Coach Vanderlaan has learned a lot from his 4-year career in the NFL and uses what he had learned from his past coaches to apply to his own coaching style.
I think the best part about jumping around from so many teams is that I kind of got the view of how different coaches do things and see how, Bill Belichick, Ron Rivera, Sean Payton, how they coach their teams. And I kind of pick up on what I think is the best way to communicate with players.
Coach Vanderlaan not only has an elite level experience that makes him a perfect guy for the job, but also told us how perfect of a fit Rockford was for him.
I wanted to be an offensive coordinator. I wanted to have complete say on the plays that I'm running and calling. In talking with Coach Cummings, the kind of coach that he is and how much he values the relationships with the players, honestly, just like every box was checked off, and it was really just the perfect situation. And it wasn't hard for me at all to know that this is where I wanted to end up.
It looks like our football boys will be in amazing hands with Coach Vanderlaan leading our offensive staff this season. This has been Ryan Wyngarden with Ram Center, signing off.
What an amazing signing of someone with such high knowledge of the game. Coach Vanderlaan has fit in perfectly with this team and will be a well-known face for many years to come.
Coach Vanderlaan has such a great example of the positive that has come from this fall season. Now before the break, we send you down to Riley Zandstra for what's to come for the remainder of our show.
Thanks, Zoe. Coming up after the break, we will be covering a transfer student who's adapting to his new school while still dominating on the field, a talented underclassman who recently committed to the college of her dreams, and when we return, we will be meeting with 2 talented twins who share unique athletic abilities that translate to their respective sports.
Every athlete has to prepare for the game. Not only do they prepare physically, but mentally too. Practice sportsmanship, the most important trait of the game.
Meet the Jolly Twins, Megan and Jessica, 2 sisters, both athletes at Rockford High School, yet compete in 2 totally different sports. These ladies didn't achieve this success overnight, but began training at a very young age.
I've been diving since I was in 3rd grade, so like 7 years, I think.
I've basically been playing my entire life because my parents got me into it when I was really young. I kind of just play because I enjoy it and love it.
One of the things we did is we exposed them to every single sport that we could think of, and hoping that 1 or 2 would actually
create a passion.
Ignite.
Gymnastics, swimming, diving, golf, basketball, softball.
Tennis.
Soccer.
Yeah,
a lot of soccer.
Once Megan and Jessica found their sport of focus, success followed them everywhere they went. Both girls were able to make the varsity team as freshmen. Jessica achieved both all-conference and all-state recognition. Megan was also awarded all-conference honors and was projected to be all-state until the pandemic changed her plans.
And then right after conference, I got quarantined, so I wasn't able to go to states and finish that. But overall, it was really good until that part.
Although Megan had her time cut short in the state competition, she had an even better opportunity on an even bigger stage.
Going to nationals this past year and getting 20th on 1 meter, that was pretty good for me.
I had a few good tournaments last year in high school season, but I'm obviously hoping it'll be better because some of it was pretty frustrating.
The Jolly Girls have high expectations of themselves and set some great goals this upcoming season.
I'm hoping to place well at states and regionals, and then outside of high school golf, I'm hoping to play in college.
Hopefully to get top 3 at states in a couple weeks. I've been undefeated so far, and I hope to continue that, hopefully at conference and beyond that.
Megan and Jessica both hope to continue their sporting careers in the future.
I'm hoping to play in college if I get good enough, but it's going to take a lot of work, so we'll see.
I want to do it in college, and then that's it. Hopefully somewhere warm and far away.
The Jolly sisters have been very successful throughout their high school careers so far. We wish them luck in the next 2 years and whatever comes after. This has been Marley Haberly with Ram Center, signing off.
You hit my cart.
The Jolly Girls are truly a remarkable duo. I'm excited to see what these two will be capable of accomplishing here in the near future.
Yeah, these two are truly remarkable. In fact, one half of the twins, Jessica Jolly, was a big reason why our Rockford girls golf team was so successful. The girls this year had a stout group who was led by head coach Scott Krusinga.
This team took off dominating the conference in every weekend and play-in tournaments. The team tallied up multiple records and even won conference and regional tournaments, an accolade that is nothing but remarkable.
Congrats to the girls on such an amazing season. This team has continued to dominate and will be one that continues to dominate for years to come. A new and upcoming team here at Rockford is the girls and boys rugby team. Once a club team here at Rockford, now the team is considered to be an MHSA official team.
Ram Center sent some reporters down to talk to the rugby athletes and ask what this means to them.
The rugby community has grown this year with the sport coming to Rockford High School.
We've had so many people come out this year, and it's so awesome to see for such an underrated sport.
It's more like a family than it ever has been.
Yeah, like after games you get together with other teams. You don't really get that in other sports. So,
being a team sport and egging on your teammates and just being like a community.
You can't sit on your heels on the field. You have to take what you can and do what you must. And that's such a cool thing to learn in life.
Being a varsity sport has many changes that help teams with struggles they had as a club.
The funding coming in from the school now to where when we were a club we didn't get the funding. Broadcasting to students a little bit more helps a lot for recruiting.
I think we get a little more funding for like that long distance traveling, and we get just more recognition, more players, and that's honestly all we need.
Because of these benefits, the teams have new exciting goals for this season.
We're excited to go to Indiana to play, which we don't typically do. COVID's changed a lot, so we're excited to travel more.
We still got to recruit. We got to recruit hard. Our goals are to make playoffs, win as much as we can, every game that we can.
Obviously, our goal is to win a state championship, get some rings.
Come out and support the rugby team this Sunday at Roguewood. This has been Madeline Kennedy with Beyond the Rock signing off.
We're so happy Rockford has introduced rugby as a new school sport. There's surely a competitive team and one you will want to go watch for years to come.
Rugby isn't the only new addition Rockford has this fall. In fact, transfer student Tyler Vroman decided this spring that he would move to Rockford as he furthers his education and sports career with the program.
Ram Center got the chance to meet Tyler and ask him how the people welcomed him and how he was adapting to these new changes. Rockford High School senior Tyler Vroman talks about his experiences transferring to Rockford for his senior year.
So I felt really good coming into Rockford. I knew a lot of the football players already coming in and a lot of the teachers and staff, and so it was really welcoming knowing that I already knew some people. I was really excited coming into a really big school, one of the biggest in Michigan, and then just having a really good athletics program, and I knew I was going to get a better education also.
Transferring to a new school is not always an easy task for most. Although Tyler has had to overcome many challenges, he explains how welcoming the Rockford community was as he entered the year.
When I first came to Rockford, everybody treated me really well. They were super excited to see what I could bring to the football field and just kind of see how I could help the team, win. And a lot of people loved what I brought kind of to the school. It brought some diversity and just some culture. And so it was really good to have like a new atmosphere for me to call home.
His home did not only consist of the community of Rockford and the peers at school, but the family he made from the football team.
It was amazing when I first got out there for my first game. Seeing 10,000 people was absolutely amazing. And my first touchdown, it was really cool the next day to show up to school and have everybody kind of behind my back and just kind of support me and be happy for me and just be excited for a long season. So that was really fun.
We're so happy that Tyler fit in so naturally with the school. His talents definitely didn't go unnoticed, as he had a spectacular season, giving Rockford senior quarterback Zach Hyink a deep threat wide receiver that he so deeply relies on.
With that note, we send you down to Megan Hart, who's standing by to tell you what's coming up next after our commercial break.
Thanks, Zoe. Coming up next in the show, we will take a deep dive into what went into the boys' soccer season, gathering their highs and lows, and even talking with their senior captain about how he and his team managed their season and handled their heartbreaking loss. All that and more with Ram Center when we return.
Talented senior Ryan Wyngarden, center back for the Rockford boys soccer team, tells us what soccer means to him.
It makes me think of all the hard work and dedication I put in over the last 18 years, all of the great friendships and just brotherly bonds that I've made in high school and throughout my club season.
Ryan has lived his whole life with Rockford Rams soccer that he truly doesn't know what it is without it. We asked him what Rockford Rams soccer really meant to him.
It means a lot. It's Rockford soccer is a family to me. My teammates, my coaches, I know they're always people I can look to for help when I need it.
We asked Ryan what it meant to know that he would never be a Rockford Rams soccer player again.
It was really devastating, heartbreaking, knowing that after 18 years, that final whistle blew for the last time, and just that I wouldn't have a chance to go out on the field with my brothers again, wearing the Rockford uniform, and yeah, just a really tough pill to swallow that I played my last game.
We thank Ryan for talking to Ram Center today, hear about his amazing soccer career with the Rams. This has been Hyink with Ram Center, signing off. You can see how much this game clearly meant to Ryan and his entire soccer team. Truly a crushing loss for a squad who came into the year with high expectations. Going into the season, Rockford knew that they were going to have an extremely young team who would have to grow and develop as the year goes.
The boys maintained an extremely consistent season, staying just above the pack within the conference, finishing second overall in the OK Red, only behind the East Kentwood Falcons, who had beaten them in both their matches during the regular season.
The Rams went 12-5-3, having ups and downs the whole way. They would enter the playoffs in a tough side of the bracket, winning an early game against Byron Center, but then would sadly end up losing to the East Kentwood Eagles in the district semifinals.
A heartbreaking way to end the season, but one thing that those boys can truly be thankful for is their great senior leadership.
Truly, as hard as it is to end that way, I'm sure somewhere in the back of their heads they were just fortunate to have a regular season, unlike the COVID ones they had to deal with the year prior.
That's a great point. In fact, Caden, you got the chance to sit down with Rockford's athletic director and ask him how he was capable of making the season one that felt more back to normal.
Here we go! Sports, among many other aspects of life, were dramatically altered over the past year and a half due to the pandemic that no one could have predicted. Sports have slowly made a return, but it was a long journey to get back.
Testing was a big hurdle to climb last year, and we were fortunate enough to figure it out. And really, we were just talking about when football started back up in January and all the testing happened, how stressful that was. But then when we got to spring and we were testing all of our athletes, football, that seemed pretty easy, that January testing part.
If we wanted to have a practice, we had to test that day. For a game, obviously we had to test every game, and if it was like a tournament like over the weekend, we had to test Friday right after school before we left, so it would last for Saturday.
I think coming this year, just having the relief from that has been really nice.
Along with testing, student athletes had the challenging task of wearing a mask during their practices and competitions.
The masks were a tough one, Kids didn't want to wear them, most of our parents didn't want kids wearing them. Some did, and I think that was some of the challenges.
This current year brought hope to athletes, coaches, and sports fans as practices finally resumed Games are back in action, and fans return to the stands.
The future looks good in terms of where we're headed in the right direction.
And it just felt really good to be back. We had a lot more energy on the team. I'm just super excited for this year.
Because we obviously couldn't have this last year, so like to see all my friends and just everyone at the game cheering on Rockford has been really special. Since we can have live spectatorship this year, I feel like for the players it helps a lot.
We had almost 12,000 people at the Caledonia game. I think volleyball matches have been better. I think it's going to continue through the winter and spring, but man, yeah, it's just to be able to have people back. It's just made the atmosphere that more electric.
See my friends play those sports and really do well in them it's like really something to look forward to.
Although the journey of sports through the pandemic is far from over, it is good to have them back, and hopefully they are here to stay. This has been Marley Haberly with Ram Center, signing off.
I can speak on the behalf of all the athletes here at Rockford. We were truly very fortunate for all the hard work our administration and coaches put in to make this season feel normal again.
With this, our athletes have numerous amount of opportunities to showcase their abilities and even been given some college offers. Junior lacrosse player Izzy Osborne is an individual who fits this category, as she has just recently committed to Liberty University to play college lacrosse.
A Ram Center reporter sat down one-on-one and talked with Izzy about her commitment.
Rockford High School junior Izzy Osborne recently committed to Liberty University to continue her journey with lacrosse, the sport that means so much to her.
To me, it's just like a place where I can go with my friends to not really worry about what's going on in my life around me, and I can just like have fun and worry about what's going on in the field.
Lacrosse has been an outlet for her since the first grade, and Izzy had a lot to consider when deciding where to take her future in the sport.
Definitely, before I committed, I needed to understand D2, D1, the commitments and stuff, and for D1, I definitely will get my work in when I am there. It's just a lot of work, and I have to be really committed.
Although she's very excited to take her lacrosse career to the next level, Izzy still has big plans for her team the next 2 years here at Rockford.
I definitely want to win states again, and it's going to be more of a challenge this year because we lost a lot of seniors, but I want to also make this team really strong bondedly because I think that's super important.
Truly a cool experience and a great opportunity for Izzy. I can't wait to see how she does these next few years at Rockford.
Here at Rockford, we have so many athletes and coaches who have accomplished such amazing things just like Izzy. To highlight these people, we take time to send you down to Liam Peterson, who's standing by at Ram Center's last second shoutouts.
Thanks, Zoe. With so many amazing things happening this fall, it would be hard not to recognize a few outstanding accomplishments. Starting out with Rockford football's very own Cade Costas. Cade is a once-in-a-lifetime player who had multiple Division I college football offers. This fall, Cade made his commitment to play ball at the University of Central Michigan. We wish Cade the best of luck as he plans to enroll early at the university. Along with Cade, we would also like to acknowledge the girls' golf team. They're a tremendous group who dominated all season, capping off the year by breaking the meet record for total points in a match with a score of 313. While that was an impressive feat, the girls' team wasn't the only people breaking records this fall. Girls volleyball senior Alina Anderson broke the all-time record in digs, an accomplishment that will already add to her impressive list of achievements. Congrats to all the coaches and athletes on an amazing fall season. This has been Liam Peterson with this season's last second shoutouts, and now we'll send you back to the set with what's left for the remainder of our show.
We have had such an incredible fall season here at Rockford, and the group here at Ram Center has been there to cover every step of the way and to gather the highs and the lows of the season.
We gather some moments that we truly won't forget, which leads us to this season's top place. With play number 3, we go to Carlson Munger Stadium, where the Rams would be up big. Rockford senior quarterback R.J. Todd would get out of the pocket and find a fast receiver in the end zone. The play was so unexpected our cameraman didn't even see it coming. The team celebrates the Rams' touchdown as it was such an amazing play from junior receiver J.T. Tenike. With play number 2, we go to Rams Stadium for some boys soccer action, where Rockford senior Jack O'Malley would strike the ball from 30 feet out. He would go top corner with an absolute screamer early in the game. His team went absolutely crazy after the finish. With the top play from this fall season of Ram Center, we go to the girls swim and dive state finals, where Jessica Jolly steps up to the board with a spectacular dive. She would get just enough points to finish first in the state. And with this fall edition of Ram Center, we would love to use this honorable mention play to honor and remember Oxford Junior Tate Meyer. An amazing player, but even more amazing man. We wish condolences to the whole Oxford family, as you are not alone. Tate would go up to catch a great touchdown to wrap up this edition of our top plays. As always, such an extremely exciting fall season here at Rockford, and one that I'm glad that I was here every step of the way to cover.
And that's all we have this time for this fall edition of Ram Center. I'm Zoe Hazlewood.
And I'm Hyink. See you this winter, Rams.